Tobias, hey man. Well, as promised, here's your little movie. And out of what I understood, you want to know what the right approach for learning a song and presenting it on stage should have to be. So, in my opinion, there are three stages or levels, if you want to call them like that, in what regards learning a song, and from that point where you're first getting acquainted with that song and moving towards the moment when you play it on stage and you want to get the most artistical representation that you can offer to the audience. So first, you learn the song at home, right? When you learn a song, you want to first understand it and be able to feel what's happening there. So understand the harmonies, the melodies, and the grooves. Okay, so these three components of the song, put them all together and make sure that you're able to follow the song progression, the song structure. Being conscious about this will help you later on when you're on stage and your body has already internalized the structure, and you don't need to think, oh my God, what's coming up here, or I don't know. You won't find yourself thinking about biscuits or the fact that you're thirsty while playing and suddenly imagining, oh man, now where am I? What part was following after this one? No, just be able that you internalize the structure of the song, and after learning the structure, make sure that you also internalize the details, because every song has a lot of details. So well, actually, the difference between a pro and a guy that just, I don't know, wants to play the guitar relies on the details usually. And the details, when I say details, I think about phrasing, articulation, tone, structure, substructure elements, a huge variety of dynamics, of course, which is a very important aspect when you're learning any song. These things are all going to build that final representation of the song that will steal people's hearts. They have no clue about how much time you had to put in learning and being able to interpret that song. It doesn't really matter. That's a whole different story. But now, going back to that, when you get into the rehearsal room after thoroughly doing your homework and you're face to face with your bandmates, it's a very important thing to make sure that each and every one of your bandmates has gone through the same process that you have went through when learning your song. Because if one of them is shaky when it comes down to the song that you're playing together, most probably that things will not go to their full potential. So talk to your mates and make them understand that learning all of the stuff that I've described a little bit earlier is very important. Then, after you're being able to play that song in the rehearsal room with your bandmates and make it sound like a piece of music, not just like 4 or 5 guys trying to reproduce something. So interpret it and imagine yourself in front of the audience. Expose yourself in your mind to the feelings that you would be exposed to on stage, and in that way you'll be halfway there when you're on stage. Because what's happening at home, what's happening into the rehearsal room, and what is happening what's happening on stage, these are the 3 levels: home, rehearsals, stage. These are very, very different. So don't imagine that if you can play a song perfectly at home, it's going to get perfect on stage, because it's not. Most likely you're going to play at, let's say, 50-60% of your full potential on stage at first. If you put a lot of time in that, and if you're able to focus on delivering the best you can on stage and leaving aside all frustrations, fears, and all that kind of stuff, that 50-60% is going to slowly turn towards 70, 80, 90, or when the magic happens, I don't know. That differs from one person to the other, but all I wanted to tell you that it's important to be attentive to all the details from the very beginning. Your job is going to be much easier if you put time in it at the beginning and practice being aware of what's happening in that song. Structure, dynamics, articulation, substructure, elements, interpretation, all that kind of stuff. Intonation. I'm not going to talk about timing or playing in tune, because when you get on stage, if you think of yourself as a pro, you're going to take care of all these things. It's understood somehow. Anyway, bad stuff happens to all of us. So, at one point, probably you're going to make mistakes, but it really doesn't matter. If you're able to turn that mistake into something nice, as a little parenthesis, I remember seeing a video of Dave Navarro, and he was talking about transforming his mistakes into a thing that the audience would perceive as being intentional. So he made a mistake, and he was so aware of his mistake that he made it 2 or 3 times in a row, so that people would really think that he meant that. It was not something that was being played by accident. So, having this in mind, be aware. It's one thing which is very important. Be aware. Always be aware. Learn to listen what's going on around you when you're playing with the other guys. Don't just bury yourself into your guitar. Now that I don't know which part is coming. If that I don't know which part is coming and you're not able to play it, it means that you don't own that song. And if you don't own it, don't play it on stage, because you're only going to make a mess out of it, and it's not worth it. It's better to play a simple song and be able to captivate your audience through the energy that you transmit through that song, rather than just tackle a difficult song which you're not able to harness. The people will sense that, trust me. Even if they don't have any sort of clue regarding what you're doing there, they will sense the fact that you are unsure and that you don't have the pure 100% offered intention of delivering that message. Having this in mind, try and learn all this stuff. And regarding the technique, man, just take it easy. When I read your messages, I try to understand more than what's happening in the message itself, in what's being written, and I see that you're too anxious. Take it easy. Enjoy what you're playing. Take enough time. Nobody's going to, I don't know, if you don't practice scales and arpeggios and bending and legato and tapping and multi-finger tapping and all that kind of stuff, and one day someone's going to come and say, hey, you didn't study this today, now you're never going to be able to play it, and I'm not allowing you to practice it some other time. Focus on less things in order for you to be able to do more. If you want to be able to understand how to perform on stage, well, this is a big cumulus of experiences, of techniques, of things. So, in my opinion, playing on stage is going to involve all the techniques and all the other stuff regarding theory and harmony and ear training and rhythmic development that we've been probably talking about through time. So, just pick up each song, analyze it to its tiniest particle, and see what's going on in there. And most probably all these techniques will jump at you one at a time. But tackling them in bits and not thinking that you have to play difficult, heavy stuff all the time, and feeling satisfied that you practice something which is difficult, but in the end, when you draw the line, you're going to notice that you're not mastering it in a short period of time. I don't know, it's best to be able to offer yourself some satisfaction after practicing. Because in the end, when you draw that line and you say, okay, this was a day of practice, what am I able to do after this day of practice? I can play that at that tempo. Okay, I can do that for a whole month, but after I draw the line at the end of a month, I'm going to say, okay, I can play this at that tempo. What does this help me with? Probably if I don't play for another month, I'm going to forget. Why don't I try to understand what's being played in there and try to implement some of that stuff in my playing? Make it some personal in some way. Alright, so enough ranting, man. I think I spoke my mind out of regarding all of this. So pick up your guitar, record that Pink Floyd tune, and show me what you got. Okay? Cheers.